Hi, I'm Ruben and this is my review for Netflix's original series, The Good Cop. The Good Cop stars Tony Danza, who some will know from Who's the Boss. He plays Big Tony, a former NYPD officer who never followed the rules, so much so that he ended up in jail.
He was kind of a naughty cop.
When he gets out of jail, which is kind of where the series starts, he stays with his son, who is essentially the main protagonist along with Tony Danza. His son is played by Josh Groban? His son is played by Josh Groban, and if you're thinking, wait a minute, is that the Josh Groban I'm thinking of? Then yes, you'd be right. It is the Josh Groban who sold millions of albums around the world.
No. Oh, I don't know.
He plays a brilliant, straight-laced NYPD detective who makes a point of always following the rules while solving Brooklyn's toughest cases.
Except right from wrong. That I learned on my own.
This father and son team become unofficial partners as Tony Sr. offers his overly cautious son, known by the name Blunt, some of the knowledge and contacts he has gotten over his often very underhanded tactics, well, from the past that is.
You bribed a guy to get me on the ethics panel?
The Good Cop also stars Monica Barbara, who plays Cora Vasquez, a tough cop who likes to push Blunt's buttons. They are the official cop partner team, although Blunt is her superior, which he likes to point out a lot.
Alright, let's go, people!
There are a number of standout performances and names that I won't bore you with. Suffice to say that it has an eclectic cast that seems to work well for the show. Andy Berkman, the creator of the Monk TV series, serves as the showrunner for this, and Randy Zisk, who worked on Bones and Monk. Howard Klein, who worked on The Office and The Mindy Project, also serves as the executive producers. And the reason why I kept those names in this review is, which I try not to do, is I just wanted to give you an idea of what to expect, a kind of a feel for this series. Because The Good Cop is basically that. It's Bones, Monk, The Office and The Mindy Project. Elements of those shows mixed together and then based off a format Israeli production company called Yes, who are also executive producers on The Good Cop. The only thing that intrigued me about this series was Tony Danza. I watched Who's the Boss with my parents many years ago in South Africa and had a vague recollection of really liking him as an actor.
Oh yeah.
So The Good Cop has about 10 episodes running around the 45-minute mark, all of which will be available as per usual as Netflix's format on the 21st of September. And I have to say, when I started watching this series, I didn't like it at all. The format, the very dry humor, the jokes that I felt often missed the mark, everything annoyed me about this series. The typical typecast cop characters, the jazz score, everything felt out of place. And my brain was struggling to categorize the series.
I love him.
They don't have to live with him.
At the end of episode 2, I thought, well shit, this one's going to be tough to get through. However, there is this unofficial rule for TV series reviewing or watching, well at least that's what another journalist told me. Keith Stout said, you cannot quit a series until you've seen a minimum of 4 episodes, even if you don't like it. And Mark Kermode says that you cannot review anything until you've seen the whole film, although TV reviewing is a little different. So I settled in for the long haul, and I'm really glad I did.
Oh, I don't know.
Probably not.
It was about halfway through episode 4 that I realized I had forgotten I was reviewing the series, but I was just watching it. It dawned on me that the writers have written this show like we've been watching it for years. By episode 4, I knew what the characters were doing, who they are, what they were, where they were going with their characters. That's not to say that they were bland, but each episode revealed a little bit more from their past and what drives the characters, and I thought this is exactly what a show should do. The actors in this are true to the characters given to them from the get-go, and they don't waver or suddenly change. They are who they are. The writers don't suddenly change one, which I find very annoying in some shows, when suddenly the characters are not true to who the characters are. Tony Danza and Josh Groban are excellent together. Tony plays the lovable dad with an interesting past that often defines his actions, which is largely the reason Josh Groban's character Blunt is such a straight-laced cop. He refuses to end up like his father or make the same choices as his father has. This relationship drives the show. I thought this was a very interesting choice to make with this relationship, not to have them hate each other, but instead their relationship is strong regardless of past actions. So what you get is a loving father and son unit, and yet they don't understand each other's thinking process on anything, especially solving cases. They each have a different way of doing things, and this worked really well for me on screen. There is an arc that the show has, and it shows its head very rarely in the first couple of episodes and then maybe the last two. But in between that, it's a very formulaic case-by-case situation. Someone dies at the beginning of an episode, and then you can expect the case to be solved by the end of the episode.
It's 6 o'clock. I'll tell you tomorrow.
When I reached the end of the 10th episode, I found that I was sad and wanting more, which is a good sign for a series where I started out thinking it was going to be a massive drag. I really like each of the main recurring characters, but I do want to mention one standout for me. Bill Cotkamp, who plays the tech geek wizard Ryan. Every time he's on screen, I cannot wait to see how he is going to deliver the lines given to him. He is so dry with the humor and the lines, it's so funny and left field that he often had me cracking up.
Is that better?
Interesting point, he's not in the IMDb listing for The Good Cop at all, well, at the time of recording this review. He is in the credits of the actual episodes, but I found it a little odd that he is not on the IMDb list. And if anyone knows why, let me know in the comments. I would actually like to know. I've no doubt that someone would just straight up not get the show or not find it funny in the least, but there is definitely an audience for this. If you liked Monk and Bones, you're probably going to like this, but it's definitely an acquired taste. Thanks for watching this review. I hope you found it informative. In a few days' time, my first fantasy novel called Faze is being published. If you enjoyed Harry Potter, Divergent and Narnia, then I think you'll probably enjoy my book. For a free sample, please click the link in the description below. And if you liked this review, please hit that bell and subscribe if you haven't yet, and chat to me in the comments below. I'll always try and chat to everyone in the comments. I try to reply to every single comment. And remember, live long and Tuesday.